All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Sports Syllabus Show. I'm John, and I'm joined by
Luke Young.
Luke Young. And today we're going to talk about, the NBA. Last night was kind of crazy. Then we'll talk about Bradley basketball. Got a big final home game of the season coming up this weekend, and then finally we'll preview each of our teams for the upcoming MLB season. But first, I want to talk about the Warriors. Steph had 56 last night.
Yeah, it was a big game for them. Big game for
Um,
him.
And it's not like the Magic didn't have Paolo still had 41, but no one's talking about it
Yeah.
because
Steph at
Steph had
56.
in what he shot made 12 threes, right?
12 threes, yep. Yeah.
Um what do you I kind of wrote down, what do you think about this Jimmy Butler trade? I mean, since they've gotten him, they're 7-1. Do you think they have an actual shot now?
I do. I don't know about to win the championship. I think there's a lot of teams in the West that are above them, like the Thunder,
Mhm.
the Nuggets, all those teams. But I do think they better their chances. It was a
Yeah.
risky trade because of what Jimmy was doing in Miami.
Mhm.
And I really think that this Warriors front office bet on his talent
Yeah.
and bet on the fact that if you get him in the room with guys like Draymond, with Steph, that he'll lock back in.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a good game last night. He only had
No, yeah, I
five
was about to
had
say, yeah, he
5 points, but uh, I mean, you can have 5 points when Steph has 56. So
exactly. And shoot, they had like another random dude score like 20
yeah,
yesterday. I'm blanking on his name. But it's also like an impressive win too, because the Magic are really. We could also talk about the Pistons too. I feel
yeah,
like if we're talking about teams that
8 wins in
have been,
a row.
yeah, and I mean, Cade has been as advertised.
Hmm.
Um, but they've done a great job of kind of surrounding him. I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Duran is was. I always liked Duran. Um,
yep.
Ivy, obviously, it sinks that he's hurt, but when he was playing, that was a really good backcourt. Um, Malik Beasley, that's I feel like their big one in the
Yep.
offseason.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I just think he's a great 3-point shooter, obviously. So
Yeah, I watched him all year last year on the Bucks. He can really snipe it, and
mhm.
he's having a way better year than he did
Oh
last
yeah,
year
he's
in the
averaging like
NBA.
what 16 or something.
Yeah, I don't know if he's averaging that much, but I saw this stat where it's like he's like the first person like since Steph Curry, like or the first person that isn't named Steph Curry to like average like 9 attempts a game on like 40% shooting.
Yeah, he's
He's like really or like 42% shooting. He's really sniping it. And
hmm
the knock on Cade was for so long is like we know this guy's so talented. We all saw him in high school. He was the best player in the nation. And then
yeah.
at Oklahoma State, he was it Oregon? No,
No,
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. Yeah,
Oklahoma State. He was kind of like the only guy in that team, and he was still the best freshman.
exactly.
And he was a clear number one pick, and then he gets hurt and has kind of had a rough few years here. And finally, they put a roster around him that has shooting and spacing, and he can get to the rim and attack. And the jump shot is definitely improved.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm looking at Beasley. He's averaging 16 points.
Damn.
And he's shooting. I mean, he's 0.1%. He's shooting worse than his career best year from the 3-point line, but still, he's having a career. No one kind of expected it because
Yeah.
he's kind of picking up what I think Jaden Ivey left when he got hurt.
Yeah.
And Duran's a walking double double, so you know
Hmm.
you're gonna get a double double from
Yeah. One
him.
of the best lob threats in the.
Yeah, and he's also I feel like he's not right. Would you say he's relatively undersized height
Mhm.
wise?
Yeah,
But
he's only like 6'10" or
exactly,
6'9",
but he makes
6'8".
up for it a crazy.
He's huge. Like
Yeah.
he's jacked. He The other thing with the Pistons, yeah, when I saw the Ivy injury, I was like, oh man, their season's kind of
Yeah.
over. They can probably like just tank one more year, and the next year could be their year. And all of a sudden, they're just beating teams like the Celtics. And
Uh-huh.
I saw this stat is the Pistons is like, with their 36 wins, it's like the sixth highest like winning percentage bump
Yeah.
ever. So that's huge.
Uh-huh.
And people are saying Cade is an All NBA case. I do believe that he should be on the third team for
Yeah.
sure. I don't think he's at the second or first team
No.
level yet. There's a lot of season left still, but he definitely has got a third team
I
case.
think another reason too is they hired JB Bickerstaff, and
Yeah.
no one's talking about like it's not like the Cavs were bad with him last year. I still was confused initially when they fired him because
Hmm.
like Kenny Atkinson wasn't a great head coach in the league.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I thought he was really good in the Nets, and then he kind of got forced out by KD and Kyrie,
yeah,
which is
I mean
whatever. Yeah.
exactly, but I was kind of confused because Bickerstaff kind of was starting to build the Cavs and it looked like they were going to be and then they just randomly fired him. And when the Pistons hired him, I thought this is what it was going to be like with Monty Williams.
I agree.
But I mean, if I'm a Pistons fan, I'm not complaining. We've been in misery since
Yeah.
the last title run probably because Blake and AD
Yeah.
they would first round exits usually, right,
Yeah,
every year.
the last time they made the playoffs, I think they lost to the Bucks. That
Yeah,
was
I
like,
think it was 2016,
yeah,
right?
that was when Blake Griffin was on the team. So that was a while
Yeah.
ago for sure.
But next game I want to talk about is just kind of going over the last night. Zion
Triple double.
tripled up, but now he's out today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just got a
It's the most
notification.
Zion thing ever.
I know. I was gonna because when I wrote this down this before I got the report that he was hurt, but um, it stinks that this dude is like this guy. I know we have like our Derrick Roses is like the what if. This dude's a legit whole what if because it's not like Derrick Rose when he like you saw progressively through each injury he got kind of worse and worse.
Yep.
This dude comes back, gives you a triple double, and now is out. So
Yeah.
like you see when he plays, he's insane. It's just he's never plays.
Yeah, a lot of people would blame it on the weight, but they came out like this week saying like, "Oh, this is the lightest he's been since they drafted him." So the
Mhm.
weight clearly isn't that big of a factor anymore. And then we had a lot of the off court stuff the past few years.
Yeah.
And he's the third fastest person in terms of games played to 8,000 points,
Yeah.
which is insane. Because he'll score.
And
And
yeah, the crazy thing is he has not played that many games either,
exactly,
too.
yeah,
I forgot. Oh, I forgot this stat. Oh, I don't remember it, but it was showing them out the like percentages of games he's played, and it's like in the 30s. I want
yeah,
to say like
uh-huh,
it's not a great thing, but like you see that like if I think if he was playing, I think the Pelicans would be a competitive
I
team this
agree.
year
I agree for
because they
sure.
have the great. I mean,
Hmm.
before Murray got hurt, they had him, Murray, McCollum,
And Ingram.
and Ingram.
Hmm.
And I think they don't trade Ingram then because I think they're in competition. I think they're trying to get another. I think they're trying to get a big, but
For me, Ingram, I don't think was gonna make through the season ever with the Pelicans. I think they could have the best record in the West, and I still think they would have traded him because I think they were shopping him the past year and a half. They tried to trade him all summer, and nobody wanted him.
Mhm.
And I just don't. I never thought that him and Zion ever worked together.
Yeah, because it's
Um,
two ball dominant guys.
I'm not really an Ingram guy. I think that he has the potential to be very special, especially defensively, and we just don't see that from him because
Uh huh.
I don't know. It could be a lack of motivation, or it could be just be that's just how he is. He's kind of a ball stopper.
Hmm.
He'll get some assists sometimes, but it's a lot of just dribble, 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 mid range pull up.
Exactly.
And I just don't think that ever works with Zion. The success you want with Zion has the ball in his hands a lot, and like
Exactly.
that could be a weakness for a team. But I think
Hmm.
for a guy with Zion having the ball in his hands a lot will lead you to a lot of wins.
Well, I mean, we saw that at Duke, and
Exactly.
and like that Duke team is argued as one of the best teams of all time.
Yeah, with in terms of talent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously,
I think this, yeah, we don't have to get into that, but Zion's very efficient. I mean, that we saw him average 22 points a game in college on like not that many shots because you had guys like Barrett
hmm
shooting the same amount of shots and Reddish also shooting and Trey Jones shooting all those
yeah,
shots, and he still averaged 22, which is
exactly.
like might not seem like a lot because he's averaged like 30 in
But
or
especially in college,
college.
that's
22 is a lot.
22 is a lot because the
Yeah.
games are what usually they're averaging around what 60 between 60 and
Well,
80.
that team was probably closer to like 85.
Yeah,
So
but
he,
that's a fourth of their points
yeah,
basically.
yeah,
So that's kind of crazy. And then I kind of wanted to talk about the Lakers T-Wolves game just um because of Terrence Shannon Jr., my Illinois man, since the All-Star break has been doing really
they
well.
finally gave him some minutes, man.
Yeah, because he was like terrible. I think he was averaging like 3 points before the All Star game,
Hmm.
and since the All Star game, he's averaging 14, 5, and 2, and he's shooting 50%, 56% from the field. But the issue with him is he can't really shoot the three ball right now,
Hmm.
which is kind of for him especially. I feel like he was always a relatively good shooter, but I know college and NBA it's a different,
Yeah.
especially the length, but. It's exciting. He had 25 last night, I think, and then he
Mhm.
had a double double earlier in the week.
Yeah.
And also I want to talk about that Ant technical that he got. I like what did I
Yeah, he
watch
got
that
ejected,
clip?
didn't he? Last
Yeah,
night? Yeah.
I don't even know like what I couldn't even tell what he did.
Mhm.
Like it was like that when Tatum got the tech for clapping.
Yeah.
It's like there's a reason why people are um like kind of destroying or like wrecking the NBA is because of this. Because of you're making your star players get kicked out of games for what, clapping because they
Hmm.
got a tech, like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Um, and then I think Ant was still there. Was he their leading scorer?
No, Terrence Shannon had 25. Ant was 18, had 18 points.
Oh,
Yeah.
but
Um,
yeah, you can go.
yeah, and like touching on the Lakers as a whole, I think that this Luka trade really brought LeBron like back to life, kind of.
Uh-huh.
Earlier in the year, he was a total zero defensively.
Yeah.
He was just letting guys go by him because he was old and he was like, I don't really need to play defense. I'm the greatest player ever.
Hmm.
And now with this Luka trade, he definitely sees like a window for them to be successful.
Yeah.
So he's now trying defensively, and just like going at people. Like you
Hmm.
watch him, he's not messing around with these threes. He's just going. He's putting his shoulder into people and just
Yeah.
he's scoring. And
Luca has been doing relatively well, I want to say.
yeah,
A lot of people are gonna overhype that game against the Mavs just because
hmm
of his stats, but
against
he
the
didn't.
Mavs,
Or yeah, against the Mavs,
yeah,
but he didn't play well that game. Like he didn't. I'm saying he didn't shoot well,
he didn't shoot well
but
last
he
night
had
either.
obs.
6 for 20,
Yeah,
and then one
so
for 9 from three. And his one 3 point make was literally like a fading three out of bounds, like late in the shot clock. And
it
then like he'll get these catch and shoot wide open ones and just brick it.
exactly,
He's such a polarizing player to where he can like do the hardest stuff. He makes the hardest stuff look so easy. But
exactly,
sometimes with him, it's just like simple things like moving your feet that he just can't like do.
exactly. Like I
LeBron played
was.
49 minutes last night. Did he
Yeah,
put
that's
overtime?
crazy.
That's wow.
Um, but I wanted to talk about like kind of you brought up Luca and how like he makes those crazy plays. I don't remember what game I was watching, but they were talking about how Luca, even though he might not be able to jump crazy, like he's not be that crazy athletic. Athleticism is also in the speed of his like legs and his quick bot, like his what's it called when your body
Pace.
moves? What?
The pace.
Yeah,
Pace of play.
and then his like quick movements,
Mm.
lateral movement and
Yeah.
stuff. They say like that's like what makes him. Because I mean,
Yeah.
Luca, you can look at him and you know he's not a crazy, like you just don't think he's a crazy. But if
Yeah.
you watch the way his feet move and stuff, it's like crazy. But
For
that's
me, for Luca, the thing that always made him great was his ability to slow himself down.
hmm
I had
yeah, his
this,
breaks, yeah,
yeah, I had this basketball trainer once saying that offensively changing, being able to change your speed is like the most important thing. And he said whether it doesn't have to be from super fast to super slow, it could be from like kind of fast to slow.
hmm
And we see that with Luca, where on these drives he's not going very fast, but then he'll like do the decel thing where he'll step.
yeah,
Literally looks like he's gonna blow his knee out, and then he'll do
exactly,
like the floater thing, and that's just um, what he's great at, and that what
exactly,
makes him great. Is even when the shooting's not there, he's gonna get free throws and he's
exactly,
gonna get to the rim and always set people up.
yeah.
So
But yeah, now we can kind of transition to college basketball. Bradley, they officially cannot win the regular season title for the Valley. They needed Drake to lose. They played Missouri or Evansville.
mhm.
They needed Drake to lose out, and then I think they needed some other stuff to happen. But big one against UNI,
Senior day.
senior night or senior day, I guess, as well. But also, I feel like this is a big one. It's final home game.
Yeah,
Um, it's not their final game of the season. I think they have one more, maybe,
yeah. I
right?
think there's 3 games or 2 games left.
Um, and so they got to win this one. You want to win these two to kind of carry that over into
Yeah,
Arch
momentum.
Madness because 3 games. That's it's a 3 game stretch now. It's
Yeah.
after these games, you're not guaranteed anything. So
Hmm.
hopefully we can see that. But what are you looking forward to? You think they can pull this one out, even though
Yeah, I
kind of
do.
got our butts whooped last time against you and I?
I think they'll use that as motivation for sure, and it's going to be in front of a senior day home crowd. So hopefully there'll be a lot of people there, and I think the seniors will be motivated to get a win on their last home game. And we have a lot of seniors. Most of our rosters
Hmm.
all seniors. So I do think that we'll have success. Hopefully, some of the seniors that don't really play will get to play a lot. But I also think there's a level of content with them. They're the 2 seed. They're going
Yeah.
to be the 2 seed, and I think that they had a successful season with some rough patches in between.
Yeah.
And if I was Coach Wardle, I'd be like, let's enjoy the senior day. Let's get a win. But we have some bigger fish to fry coming up next weekend. So
Yeah, yeah, totally. Right, Arch Madness is
next
next week,
weekend,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
it's coming. I think, I like you said, even though I think they officially have
The two
second
seed.
locked up, right? Because I
Hmm.
think you and I has.
With a win, I think if with this win, I
Okay,
for sure I think it's a
okay,
lock.
so Yeah, but I still think just because of how bad you and I beat us, I think I don't think, especially like the seniors, I don't think they're gonna let them,
Yeah,
you
they're
know,
definitely going to play motivated for sure.
exactly, and especially coming off that win against Murray State and Valpo,
Hmm.
where you were losing both in that game, in
Yeah.
both of those games, and you
Hmm.
came back and won. I think they're on a perfect, uh, like hot streak, sort of like where they're battling through adversity in some of these games. So
Yeah.
I hope they can do it, and then obviously, next weekend is probably, I mean, their biggest weekend of the season,
Hmm.
obviously. So,
Yeah.
but now we can kind of talk MLB.
Yeah.
I'll let you go first. You're Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah. Brewers.
Um, what are your expectations for the team this year?
I think the expectations will always be to win the NL Central.
Uh huh.
Always beat the Cubs. But I don't even know if we're gonna be able to do much more than that. I feel like this year, just like every year, could be just a copy and paste of what we see in the past like half decade, where we win the NL Central and then lose to some like loaded team
Yeah.
in the playoffs who didn't win their division because their division is better than ours.
Hmm.
But I do think that we're bringing basically our whole roster back,
Yeah.
so I don't know how much different this season is going to be. I do think the NL Central got better. I think the Cubs got
Yeah.
better.
Cubs got
There's
better.
no yeah, and I think the Cardinals will still be good. Um, and it's all going to be based on how Yelich does and how he
Yeah.
does returning from this back injury. That's basically what the whole team is based on right now,
Yeah.
and how good guys like Churio
Yeah.
and all the other
Curio.
younger
I
guys
mean,
are.
he had a crazy year last year.
Yeah,
And he looks like he's going to be
and
that.
he's only
That
21, so
exactly. So you guys have that kind of star.
yeah,
Um, the issue with you guys, I mean, it's with a lot of teams too, is pitching.
yeah.
You
A
know,
lot of the good pitchers always go to the big market teams, so the
yeah,
small market
like you
teams.
guys, you guys got Brandon Woodruff back
Yeah.
after he missed, I think, all of last year.
Mhm.
But then you lost Devin Williams, but you
Yeah.
got Nestor Cortez from that. So like
Yeah.
he's kind of like a junk ball kind of lefty. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I think there's a good shot they can make a run in the postseason. Just because I think getting kind of you have sort of two pitchers now,
Mhm.
that you can kind of rely on, and they have a really good young they have a good offense with Contreras behind the plate,
Yep.
Yelich, um, Bryce Terang.
Mhm.
So they have a good team. Now we can kind of talk about, you get nice stuff. I get garbage. I'm a Sox fan, guys. Well, there's nothing to look forward to. The only thing I have kind of looking forward to is because of like our young prospects and stuff. But
Yeah.
that was the same thing with the Sox. What, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yep.
Kind of we're like oh, we stink, but we have all these prospects. All these prospects are good on other teams. Like seriously, Cease was good with us, but then we traded him.
Yeah.
Um, Ronaldo Lopez was on our team. He was awful on the Sox. They trade him. Now he becomes a Cy Young guy. Who else? Moncada was whatever. Jimenez is on a minor league deal now. Who Kopech is like one of the best relievers in baseball now with the Dodgers.
Yep.
Um, so I don't know. I hate our owner.
Yeah, I
But
just think
did you
anybody owned by the Reinsdorfs is just going to be cursed forever.
exactly, exactly? You know how like the Cubs when they won the World Series and stuff, and like I think the Yankees or no the Red Sox, the curse of Bambino and stuff.
Mhm.
I seriously do think I'm serious. I think we're cursed.
I just think it's the. I actually think that the Reinsdorf family made some kind of deal where they sacrificed the whole future just to have those 6 years with Michael Jordan to like win all those
I
championships.
agree. I think no. I think it was after that 2005. I think they made that with the Bulls because
Yeah.
since but then the Bulls haven't been
Yeah.
anything. I think with the Sox they made the deal where it was like let us win one in the early
Yeah.
2000s and then literally we haven't been good since then. I mean we
Yeah.
made the playoffs 2021,
Mhm.
but we got our butts whooped by the Astros.
Yeah.
By the way, I was gonna go to if they advanced, I was gonna be at the game, one of the games, but
Did not advance.
they did not. But like, yeah, I was looking on Baseball America. Like, we have the fourth best farm system.
Yeah.
We have the two best lefties. Uh, in baseball, like in prospect wise. But like that's the thing. Like, it's all you can't
Just potential, yeah.
exactly.
It's not
It's nothing
anything you can
proven.
see. Yeah.
Like, our only really proven guy is Luis Robert, and then the rest are like we have a old washed version of Joey Gallo. So, like, we don't have anybody, and then this dude, Will Venable, like, I've never been, like, so, like, whatever on, like, one of my teams that I support higher just because of like, this I feel like this is, like, kinda like when the Texans when they hired Lovie Smith and, who did they hire before him? But you know who I'm talking about,
Yeah.
right? How they kinda just went one year and done, 1 year and done.
Yeah.
This has, I think, a very likely chance to do that, where it's like, I don't even care anymore because it's like we're so bad.
There's no way they lose that many games again, right?
The
Like, surely they get
No,
50 wins.
I was listening to one of the podcasts about this. The DraftKings has their line at win. I'm gonna let you guess. What do you think their line of wins is?
How many did they win last year?
49.
I'll say 47 and a half.
It's 51.
51. Oh my god.
51.
I actually think there's like a way to make money where you just like bet against the team playing the White Sox every time, and every time if they're ever favored, just take the other team. 'Cause
Exactly.
there's
The
no
Sox could be money makers this year.
yeah.
Um,
The odds will not be good at all, but
no,
like
but if they win, you could win a lot.
yeah.
But no, back to what I was saying. They also there was the Ishba. How do you this
Ishbia?
Ishbias?
Yeah.
They're
The
looking
guy
to buy the Sox,
yeah, so it's the um Ishbia, the one of the Ishbias bought the Suns.
and then the
The
other
other one is
is
trying to buy the Sox. Yeah.
um, and so
They're
if
brothers,
they,
I think.
yeah, that would be a
Matt
great
it's
thing.
Matt Ishbia. I don't know what the other one is.
Yeah, but if they, I saw if they were to buy the Sox, they would be the second richest owners in baseball the behind
The Mets.
Cullen.
Yeah.
Yeah, which for me, like that gets me excited
That would be
because that means
awesome
we
for you
might
guys.
spend money. But
First time ever?
when
Yeah.
I was talking to my dad about it,
There's
there
no
were
way the Reinsdorfs give up the
the
Sox, dude. There's no way.
yeah, no, no, no. What would happen is they would be like quiet owners,
Yeah.
so like they wouldn't have a say. It would all be Reinsdorf still. So until Reinsdorf dies or
Yep.
something, or if he somehow, which he won't, gives up the Sox won't spend money. But
Maybe Ishbia will buy the Bulls then too.
maybe because like seriously, that's exciting
Yeah.
for it's like when the issue with the Sox have always been an interesting team because they have a very strong, passionate fan base,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of drawn players to them. I
Yeah.
feel like just because but it's also a place that if you mess up there, like Yasmani Grandal was bad, like shoot, Larusa. Why I don't know why it took me forever. Like, if you do bad, you're gonna not wanna be in Chicago for the rest of your life because
Yeah.
the fans will run you as I know, us fans will run you out of the city.
Yeah.
So
It's interesting the Sox because they're kind of like a small market team, but they're in Chicago.
because 'cause they're like the
Yeah, they're like the
Clippers.
Clippers.
Yeah.
Right. And they just I don't know. They just can't seem to figure it out. And I do think it's a lot owner driven.
Mhm.
We'll see because Matt Ishbia kind of killed the Suns.
Uh-huh.
He got in there and he's like, all right, I'm gonna make this big splash right away. Let's trade our entire future for Kevin Durant.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not gonna say that wasn't a successful trade. I mean, like if you have the chance to get Kevin Durant,
Yeah.
go get Kevin Durant.
Exactly.
But now we're kind of seeing the recourse of that, where he tried to do it again with Bradley Beal,
And that just didn't
and
work.
that has backfired completely.
I think that I mean, I have, ideas on that, but I just think
Yeah,
that the Beal one was just a reach.
I
There was no great players on the market, and they went for, like, a mediocre, you know what I mean?
think about the price for Kevin Durant. It was 7 first round picks,
Exactly.
Cam Johnson, and Mikal Bridges.
Yeah,
Like that is an absurd price for a
exactly.
33-year-old. Like I feel like they didn't have to put Cam Johnson in that trade.
No,
There's no way they were like the Nets. The Nets were like, or I feel like the Nets would have been like, okay, Bridges, 6 first round picks and 2 swaps, fine.
exactly,
I just feel like Ishbia was like, all right, we'll put Cam Johnson in there
exactly,
too. I don't know. I feel like if you look back on that trade is absurd now that we're thinking about it. Um, like in the moment, you're like, yeah, why would you not trade for Kevin
mhm,
Durant? But that's a lot of picks. It's
exactly,
a lot of picks for a team that's not very good.
exactly, and what I'm hoping, like, I'm glad you brought that up about the trade thing. I'm hoping that they and MLB, it's a lot harder to make those big trades
Yeah.
because you don't have those picks,
Hmm.
you have prospects.
Prospects. Yeah.
But I think what they could do, maybe they learn from that and they start spending money,
Yeah.
because, like, yeah, we are like the little brother, but, I'm gonna say this, yeah, we're like the little brothers, we're like the Clippers, but at least we have a championship, alright?
So do
Wait, do the Clippers?
Oh, the Clippers? No, 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 no. I thought you were talking about compared to the Cubs. All right, now keep going. Keep going.
Um,
Sorry, sorry.
but yeah,
Clippers do not.
at least we have a championship.
Yeah.
But their owner likes to spend money.
Yeah, I feel like in Chicago it flip flops. For like I feel like it is Cubs dominant now, especially because of this 2016 hangover.
Yeah.
Also because the Sox are like the worst team ever.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like in LA, no matter how bad the Lakers are,
Oh,
it will
they will
always
always.
be Lakers.
When the Lakers were awful and the Clippers had Lob City, it was
Yeah,
still
yeah.
it was
They were
still the
still.
Lakers,
Yeah, they still talk
which
about
is
Kobe.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think hopefully this like what I'm looking for is just to see these young guys develop. Maybe bring some like Colson Montgomery, some of the young guys like into the major leagues
they got nothing to
earlier.
lose, to be
You have nothing
honest.
to lose. Bring them to the majors, let them play, let them have their struggles.
Yeah,
Then hopefully when they get good, you make some kind of free agency signings like they did when they had that little window, like with
yeah.
Dallas Keuchel and Grandal and Hendricks to add those kind of veterans
Hmm.
to play with your young guys, and then you have a team. So I think it's no harm if you bring up these young guys because what happens? We lose games. We're expecting to lose
You're gonna lose
games.
them anyways.
Exactly. So it's like at least if you lose them, have young guys that are exciting because then that'll also make you money
Yeah,
because that'll put butts in seats.
yeah. Um,
Um.
I saw this thing today. We were talking about it today with some of my buddies, and they're like projecting like in the next few years, De La Cruz is gonna be like one of the first ones to get $1 billion contract.
Uh huh.
And that would be absurd.
Well, guys, that's a wrap for this week on the Sports Syllabus Show. Thanks for tuning in and joining the conversation. Don't forget to follow and subscribe and share this with your fellow sports fans. If you got a hot take or a question, hit us up on Instagram. Until next time, stay hyped, stay active, and we'll see you back here for your next dose of the Sports Syllabus Show. Thank you.
Thank you guys.